Hello, people. The Tron of Liberty test ended today, so it's time to take stock of the game and find out if it's worth waiting for and whether it will become a worthy continuation of Lineage 2. The answer: no and no. NCSoft is not the same company that it was before. All their promises before the release of the game have not been fulfilled for a long time. Let's remember Lineage's presentation. We were promised that the game would be released all over the world at once, there would be a world auction and a bunch of inter-server content. The result: it has been released so far only in Korea. Blade and Soul 2 promised a worthy continuation of the BNS with cool combos and unique gameplay. We received a clone of Lineage 2 Mobile in an Asian shell. For more than 5 years, NCSoft has been making the same game, with character cards, gacha napits and weapons and a huge donation. Just calls this game different every time. So it was stupid to expect that the same line that many of us grew up on and were looking forward to continuing would suddenly come out on the PC. They have once again done what they have been doing for several years. We released a 2M launch, with HD textures, a larger, but the same empty world and slightly expanded mechanics. Now let's take a closer look at what we were shown at the beta test. By the way, it took place in Korea and it was impossible to play without real Korean data. Any MMORPG starts with choosing a class, but there are no classes here. The most you can do is create your character and choose his appearance. The class itself is determined by the type of weapon you use. Moreover, by default, you can use 2 types of weapons at once, switching between them. A sword and shield, a 2-handed sword, daggers, a bow, a crossbow, a magic wand with a book and a staff are available to us. Each weapon has its own set of skills. Well, all skills are traditionally divided by color: green, blue, and purple. There are also legendary skills that open on high level and that no one has had time to test. These skills change day to night, cause rain or wind. You can use them once every 12 hours. As I understand it, this is the very thing with the change of weather that we were promised before the start. Like, in the rain, the skills of electricity will hit harder and over a larger area, and so on. I kept wondering how they would be able to implement such complex mechanics. And they implemented it, along the way, stupidly in the form of a temporary buff with a rollback at 12 o'clock. Yeah. In the game, of course, there is an auto boy and a car race, where without it. But then the developers acted more cunningly. Not all attacking skills can be used on cars, as a result of which mobs of equal level, the character picks for quite a long time. And considering that, as usual, you will have to kill 30 or 60 such mobs for quests, the quest will be done for a long time. Well, if you yourself, with your hands, squeeze the rest of the skills or squeeze them in a certain combination to hang poison or stuff stacks for more damage to the subsequent spell, then the monsters will fly away 2 to 3 times faster. Although it seems to me that if you have an overlearned donut character, then he will perfectly ruin everything alive on the car. They also added a car pump for 8 hours a day. That is, you will be able to turn off the computer at night, and at this time your Persian will swing. This is convenient, because here we have a game about grind after all and we need to constantly knock something out. But this feature will be paid. So let me tell you right away about the monetization of the game, which was shown on the PDA. Yes, it may change at the start, but most likely only slightly, because NCSoft loves money very much. In short, Donut will allow you to buy everything from the very start, as, indeed, everywhere now. They have season tickets, combat passes, a special currency for which everything will be sold at auction, gacha on transformations and Agathians, which are collected in the collection and add quests for donators. The system was described as briefly as possible on the MMO13 website. So, what do we have? Unbound items drop out only by subscription. AFK farm when exiting the game by subscription. Paid tasks with an additional reward. Pets that give an increase to stats, and materials for crafting for Donut. It is clear that now to play an MMORPG, you will necessarily need to buy at least a combat pass, which gives some of the advantages. But knowing NC Software, in the future there will be easy shares from the category of not bought now, lost in boost. What else is there here besides the usual grind and donut? Transforms. Instead of the usual mounts, we have the opportunity to turn into a wolf, eagle or otter. A little otter will please any gamer. Then you will be able to get other animals to transform from gachas and quests. Unfortunately, it is impossible to fly in the form of an eagle, you can only plan down. Just like the shares of NCSoft, which fell slightly after the negative feedback from players about the test. If you are a pure PC gamer and have not played any mobile MMO from NCSoft, look at the reviews on Lineage 2 Mobile and you will see a lot of similar things. The same interface and inventory, where everything is piled up. There are clothes, cans with buffs and resources for crafting. The same ability to distribute characteristics every few levels, choosing between strength, accuracy, intelligence and perception. The same gradation of clothes by color, the same system of sharpening things and the same auction, which, unlike even the LDVM, does not allow non-donating players to earn game currency by knocking out and selling various things. Because, as I said above, in order for you to get unbound things that can be sold at auction, you will need to pay for it. Otherwise, only temporary events remain from the content, similar to the events from L2M, Allah beat the wolves at 10 in the evening in the same location, fly all the servers to the world boss or the boss of the region, and so on. As a result, we got the usual mobile gamer and Grint group with standard linear pumping through the killing of hundreds of thousands of monsters. A standard donation system for the modern world that allows you to buy everything, and standard graphics that can go on any computer. Will I play it? Most likely, yes, but not for long. Purely to feel the game itself. Suddenly I missed something, some killer feature, for which it is worth playing it. By the way, by publisher and release date. In Europe, the game will be published by Amazon, and there is a very high probability that, firstly, there will be no Russian localization, and secondly, we will not be allowed there at all and there will be an IP block. And then, perhaps, the game will be published by the FA Game Company after some time. Well, and the release date? At first they wanted to release the game in the summer of this year, then they postponed it to the end of the year, and now there is information that Blade & Soul 2 want to release it at the end of this year. And NC Software is unlikely to release 2 of its games at the same time. So I wouldn't be surprised if the global version of Liberty Thrones appears only in the 24th year. Here is such information now available on the game. Draw your own conclusions. Whether NC Software will give this game a second wind or will bury the company even deeper, time will tell. Write your opinion in the comments, put likes, Bahati in the bell and subscribe to the channel. Tarian was with you, bye to everyone.